All right. Yeah, I'm with, how do you say your surname? Miwa.
Miwa.
Yeah, Dr. Julie Miwa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to MasterChef Toast TV. It's like a channel that I run. It's all about arts and culture, you know. I also use, I call it Edutainment. So I really am inspired by what you do because it's like a combination of education
Right.
and arts, which is like entertainment, and
Right.
actually like it sparks the brain. So I want you to just take us through all of this, like
Oh,
the
sure.
exhibitions here, so
Let's start at the
people can
beginning.
actually be, you know, they can be informed and educated about what the incredible work that you do here at Lehigh University.
Right.
You know, yeah.
So the project is to inspire people to capture more creativity. And what we want to explain is at the beginning when we're first born, this represents all the different neural connections that we have. And we have so many different capacities. But the connections that we use early on, we reuse them over time, then we end up with a more limited repertoire of neural connections that we have at our disposal. And that gives us expertise, but also can kind of limit us in the number of different behaviors that we can partake in. So the idea is that we can explore things like neuronal plasticity, which we have a lot of when we're young, so our neurons can be shaped by our experiences. But then as we age, then that gets more difficult.
Oh, okay.
So this is sort of representing this plasticity that we have visual input from both eyes, and so our brains process activity from the left and the right eye. But if we were to shut one eye, then our brains would because of plasticity, our brains would change. And so more of our brain would be dedicated to the eye that's getting more of the light.
So, yeah, if I may, does this what happens like to people that are born blind or
right? So if you're born blind, then
or maybe
you don't
blindness
have,
is the
right. You don't have as much experience-dependent plasticity shaping the connections. So people that are born with vision but they're in the dark, their visual systems won't develop as well as the rest of us that have exposure to light. So experience is very important for shaping our brain and shaping the functions like vision.
Okay, interesting.
And the reason why we have less plasticity as we age is partly because there's a gene that I discovered when I was in grad school that turns on later in life and kind of is a brake on this plasticity, so it kind of shuts down our ability to be plastic and to learn. So
also, like at some point you lose your ability to absorb information or like.
So think of it like language. When we're young, we could learn, depending on where we're born, we can learn a lot of different languages.
Yes.
We might, without any accent.
Yeah.
As adults, we can learn another language. We have to study hard, and we might always retain an accent. So we can still learn, but not as fluidly with as much plasticity.
It's because of the plasticity.
Yes, exactly.
So, all right.
So this represents the beauty of neurons after the plastic window is over when we're adults. We still have the ability to learn and mold our synapses, our connections, based on experience, but it's not as easy to do so.
All right. So, but like, what are the factors that like? Is it like dependent on is the age? Does the age vary from individual to individual, or?
Right now, we don't know that. Right now, we think it's a genetic program. But we're exploring the effect that, let's say, if we have a high cognitive demand, we have to learn a lot, maybe that delays the onset of the gene. But that's just a speculation, so we're looking at that.
So it can happen early for some and later for others?
Potentially. We're looking right now at the ability for adults to downregulate the LINX gene. Let's say if you have to learn a lot, then maybe the brain has a trigger to, okay, we need more plasticity. Let's downregulate LINX.
So what's the average age where it you start to lose it? Like,
we don't really know that much because it kind of varies with different brain regions.
All right. But the decline actually, like
it increases. So it's a break, remember? So we have low levels, and then as we age, we get more of the LINX break.
Oh, all right.
So the idea is like you have too much LINX and it makes it more difficult to learn. So can we remove or inhibit LINX to get back more of this plasticity?
All right.
So the idea is that because we're now after the plastic period, we have this limited number of neural connections. We can kind of use the same connections over and over again. Our behaviors become very stereotyped, and we get into these neural grooves, these patterns of behavior, and it's hard to make new connections and to make new behaviors. So sometimes we can feel stuck in a rut.
Yes.
And people might just think, oh, what's wrong with me? I'm lazy or I procrastinate.
Yeah.
No, we have a neurological reason why we fall back into the same patterns.
Oh.
So the question is, are we able to remove?
Yeah, those. Yeah. Can we?
Yeah. So the idea is, can we, let's say, inhibit links, the gene links, or can we override the effect of the links break? So that's where we think that it might be possible through the activities that we partake in and our thoughts. So if we're thinking, certain thoughts that makes us anxious or something like this, we might not be getting the molecules of neuroplasticity.
All right.
However, certain activities, and it's different for every person, because everyone's brain wiring is different.
Yeah.
But certain activities, you feel this joy when you're doing those activities.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And
you are always yearning to do it. Like it's like you lose track of time when you actually do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So we call that flow. You're so enraptured in what you're doing, time slips away. So it's so different. For some people, it could be gardening, knitting, playing music, doing art.
Yeah.
The idea is that it's different for every person, but you know it. You know how it feels different.
Yeah.
So this is our intrinsic motivation that would kind of show how we feel different on the inside. It might look the same on the outside.
Yeah.
But during those activities, there's evidence that our brains are releasing these neurochemicals of plasticity, such as dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, oxytocin.
Yeah.
That's helping us not only to the feeling of reward and joy, but also helping our brain in terms of neuronal health and mental well-being.
Wow. Interesting. And the artist is just beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So then what do we gain from this if we can override the links break by choosing the activities that give us these neurochemicals? Then potentially that would allow us to have more plasticity, or to grow the part of our brain involved in finding connections and coming up with new ideas, such as the frontal cortex.
Okay.
So that would be to be more creative, to help solve problems, in your own life, not just.
All right. Yeah.
But the idea is that this part of our brain that helps us to have wisdom and insights also helps to regulate the emotional part of our brain.
Okay.
So the more we can grow this front part of our brain, that can help to moderate our responses to stressors, and then we can gain more emotional resilience. So this piece of art would represent the artist using her art to fend off her demons. So
the more you learn, actually, the more the wiser you are, the better you can actually respond to emotions that would usually overwhelm you.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
So this project is we hope to inspire people to realize that, let's say, doing the activities we love, that's not just a hobby, an indulgence, but it's good for them. For their brain.
So they must do it more regularly. Yeah.
And to give permission that you'll be better citizen of the world.
Yeah.
By doing those
You're
things.
Better human, actually.
Better human,
yeah.
And if everyone felt free to do those activities, then collectively we'd be better able to solve.
Absolutely, actually do humanity great wonders, actually. Because people are walking around stressed and like they're doing what they don't quite like, and although they know, they are aware of what they should be doing, but also like the factor of time, like because not everyone has the leisure to do what they love. Like what would you say about that?
They don't have, not everyone has the choice to do what they love as their career.
Yeah.
But I think the idea is, in moments of good times, to think about several different activities that they love to do. It's not like your whole career.
Yes. Even if it's like on a weekly, like it can do you a great deal of.
On the weekend or something.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You get those neurochemicals and what would help you. So that's the idea that we're trying to achieve with the project.
Amazing. Amazing. Now I'm highly impressed, and this is amazing. This is what the world needs, absolutely. And
well, I'm glad that it resonates with you and with other people.
yeah, no, for sure. The more and more people are aware of what neuroscience is doing, like NeuroSalon, and the more they will actually they will be exposed to what will actually make them better and better, like in their lives.
So we are missing one piece of art, but that is the same area of the brain that's involved in creativity, the frontal lobes of our brain.
Yeah.
They're also, when you stimulate creativity, you also stimulate empathy.
Yeah.
And empathy is something that I think we need more of.
We need more of
that. We need to understand other people's perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing is, if we're constantly stimulating our fear centers, let's say by watching too many anxious, provoking things on the internet or news, we can't really tap into our empathy as well. And I think growing empathy is something that the world needs.
Yeah, certainly, most certainly. So you studied neuroscience?
Yes. Yeah, I have my PhD in neuroscience.
Neuroscience.
And I discovered the Lynx gene, and I'm a mouse geneticist, so I've studied the effect of the gene using genetic engineering.
Yeah.
Found that you had mice without this gene could learn better and have this plasticity as adults.
So I just want to understand, when did like the interest in the arts to fuse like neuroscience and the arts, like when did that come about?
Well, I always did music kind of on the side.
Oh, all right.
But I wasn't serious about it. But then I actually got a brain injury myself.
Oh.
So I had like a brain tumor and then a brain injury, concussion. And with those two things, it made it more difficult to do the scientific research.
The scientific research, no.
And to use my eyes to track and to read and things like that.
Yeah.
So I found it to be more taxing. So I was thinking, is there a way that I can improve my brain function by using more of it and fusing the music with the science, which are my two interests.
Yeah, make it more graphic and artistic, like, interesting. All right. All right, thanks a lot, Dr. Miwa. I really appreciate your time, like taking us through all of this, and congratulations for all of this, and all the best with the journey ahead. Thank you so much.
Good luck with your project.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
We are NeuroSalon. We focus on spreading neuroscience ideas through art and music. And so here is Master Chef Toast, who's also sharing educational messages through music.
I got the power. Hey, mommy, I got the power.